Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something huge in AI right now. Large language models. LLMs.
Yeah, they're definitely the heavy hitters, aren't they? Kind of the engine room, as you said.
Exactly. And if you recall our earlier chat about generative AI basics, well, LLMs are a massive leap forward from that, a really significant step change.
Absolutely. We laid some groundwork, but now things are really accelerating because of these models. And what gets me is just the sheer scale of the data.
Oh, totally. At their core, right, LLMs are these enormous neural networks. I mean, trained on trillions of words, lines of code, just staggering amounts of digital stuff.
Yeah.
And that scale, it's not just a detail, it's like fundamental to what they can do.
It really is. You hear about the architecture, transformers, and all that, but yeah, for a basic idea.
It's almost like an incredibly sophisticated autocomplete, but on, well, just monumental scale.
That's a helpful way to think about the basic mechanism, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's more than just the next word, isn't it?
Right, right.
What's really fascinating is how they sort of develop this sense of context over, whole paragraphs or even longer bits of text.
Yeah.
And people probably heard of the big ones like GPT-3, GPT-4 is out now, LaMDA.
Yeah, those names are definitely making headlines. They really bring the power into focus.
They do.
And the process of training them, it's almost hard to believe. It's incredibly resource heavy.
Oh, massively. You're feeding these models just enormous amounts of data.
Uh-huh.
So they learn the statistical patterns, the relationships between words and phrases.
But it's not just memorizing things, is it? That's important to stress.
No, exactly. That's a key point.
Yeah.
While they process huge data sets, what's really amazing is how they seem to grasp context and nuance. Even, well, maybe something like understanding to some extent.
Understanding the structure of language itself.
Kind of, yeah. Learning its rules and patterns.
And when you think about the computing power needed.
Huge, massive data centers, specialized hardware, just to do the training.
Yeah. I heard an analogy like teaching a child to read an entire library, like a massive library.
Right.
But doing it in weeks or months, it paints a picture of the scale.
It really does.
So, okay. Our mission for this deep dive is really to get under the hood, understand why these LLMs are making such waves, and, what it all means for us.
Precisely. And if we're looking at impact, well, creative writing is one area that's just exploded.
It's pretty wild, isn't it? AI involved in writing novels, poems.
Yes, screenplays even.
Yeah.
LLMs can help writers brainstorm ideas or generate different versions of a scene.
Or even draft whole chapters, apparently.
It's happening, but, and this is crucial, the sources really emphasize they're not replacing human writers. Not yet, anyway.
Right, more like powerful tools.
Aids.
Exactly, tools to boost creativity, maybe break through writer's block.
So like having a super smart brainstorming partner.
Kind of, yeah. Hyper-intelligent brainstorming partner who never gets tired or needs coffee.
Huh. Okay, I like that. And you're even seeing these experimental projects. Humans and LLMs co-authoring books.
Wow. That's a fascinating collaboration.
It points towards a new kind of partnership, maybe. But look, the impact isn't just in the creative arts. If you connect this to tech more broadly, software development is huge.
Oh, absolutely. I've been hearing a lot about that. Things like code generation.
Yeah, code generation, debugging, even writing documentation.
So you could describe what you want a piece of software to do in plain English, and the AI could actually write the code.
It can, yeah. Or at least provide a very solid starting point. And think about finding bugs.
Automatically finding and fixing bugs.
Yeah.
That sounds incredibly useful.
It speeds things up immensely. Developers can focus on, the harder, more architectural problems.
Yeah, the more complex stuff. And this isn't just theory, is it? It's actually happening.
Oh, yeah. Many IDEs, the tools developers use every day.
Integrated development environments, right?
Exactly. They're already building in LLM features. Smart code completion, spotting potential errors.
Yeah.
It's becoming standard.
Okay, so that's a really concrete example of how they're changing workflows already.
Definitely. But, while the capabilities are amazing, we absolutely have to talk about the challenges and limitations too. We can't ignore those.
That's really important, yeah, a balanced view. So what are the main concerns? Bias must be one, right? Given the data they're trained on.
A huge one. They learn from the text they're fed, and that text contains all sorts of existing societal biases.
So the LLMs can end up perpetuating those biases?
Yep.
Or even amplifying them?
Unfortunately, yes. It's a serious problem people are working hard on, but it's inherent to the training data.
Okay. What else? I've heard the term hallucinations.
Ah, yes. Hallucinations. That's when an LLM generates text that sounds confident, plausible,
Yeah.
but is actually incorrect, factually wrong.
Right. Because they're not checking a database of facts.
Exactly. They're predicting probabilities. What word is statistically likely to come next based on the training data?
Okay.
So they can essentially make things up very convincingly.
Mm-hmm.
Verification is absolutely crucial. You can't just trust the output blindly.
That's a critical takeaway. Always double check. And I guess there's the potential for misuse too, generating realistic but fake text.
That's certainly a risk. Things like creating deepfakes, spreading misinformation or propaganda at scale. It's something we need to be really mindful of.
Okay, lots to consider there on the limitation side. So, looking ahead then, what's the future look like? Is it humans versus AI?
Well, the narrative seems to be shifting, thankfully, more towards human-AI collaboration, especially in things like content creation.
So humans with AI rather than against it?
That seems to be the more productive framing, this idea of a new era of creative partnership.
Where humans provide the vision, the direction, the critical judgment.
Exactly. And the AI provides powerful tools, maybe speeds things up, offers new possibilities.
Leveraging the strengths of both, then, to create something potentially better than either could alone.
That's the goal, I think, creating a synergy.
But it needs care, right? We need to approach it responsibly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thoughtfully, responsibly, understanding both the amazing potential and the very real limitations we just talked about.
Yeah. And it feels like we're just at the start of this journey, doesn't it?
Definitely. The next few years feel crucial in shaping how we actually integrate these tools, how we navigate this new landscape.
And of course, we'll keep tracking these developments right here for you.
Indeed. Which leads to maybe a final thought, something for our listeners to chew on.
Okay.
Given everything we've discussed, the rapid advancements, but also these current limitations like bias and hallucinations, what specific ethical considerations do you think will become most critical in the next few years as these LLMs get woven deeper into our creative work, our professional lives, maybe even just our daily routines?
That's a really good question to ponder. What becomes the most critical ethical challenge? Lots to think about there.